What's up, guys? It's Missy, and I'm back with another video for SimCity Build It. And we're going to talk about what it takes to be a good president, what you should expect from your team members, and what type of group you want to make. Okay. Now, I've seen on some of these Facebook groups that people are trying to make clubs. How do I explain this? Like, you have war clubs, and then you have contest of mayors clubs, and then you just have anybody can, do whatever clubs. But this guy had a interesting thought process, which I will explain why his idea would not be beneficial. But it was a good different idea. It just won't work. And his idea was that each member would be assigned some items, an item list, and they would have to keep their depots stocked with those items to help other players, and that way it was more easy for them to find the more difficult items. Now, the reason why this is not going to benefit is because when you first join a group, you're usually level 19, and normally you haven't done research, and you've screwed up, you've made lots of mistakes, your storage is not maxed, you're in no position financially to commit to doing something that's not going to benefit you, okay? Now, I'm not saying be greedy or selfish, but you do need to look out for yourself. And when you're doing that, you're looking out only for your team members, and you're not helping yourself, and your city is not growing, okay? This game, and I've said it in all my other videos, is predominantly focused on making items, okay? The items and the items that you make are extremely important to your success financially. Like in the other SimCity Build It's, you could just increase your population and you would get paid through taxes. This is not the case. The taxes are more like chump change in this game, and your main money maker is through production. Now, lots of people have this misconception that if an item sells well, or if it sells for a lot, then that is what you should make. And that is wrong, okay? I don't care how much it sells for. If it's costing you a ton to make it, it's not a benefit, okay? So hamburgers, they sell for an obscene amount. They rarely sell, and they take an obscene amount of time to make. Now, the hamburger itself only takes, 20-something minutes, but the barbecues take 2 hours, the spatulas take time to make, the beef takes 2 hours, the bread rolls take like 45 minutes, the flour takes time, so if you're starting from scratch, you're actually losing a ton of money, okay? Never make beef. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't ever do it. It's not worth it. And only make it if you have it running on a gold token and you're making it because you need it for like your epic projects and you want to stock up because you know it's going to ask for that. But anytime you see it on global, buy it. It's, not something that you're going to want to make. Now, flour is going to be your biggest money maker. So whoever gets assigned flour, they're going to be rolling in the dough, and the person that gets assigned barbecues is going to be screwed. You know what I mean? So it's not beneficial. Don't commit to a club like that. You can do whatever you want, but if you want to play the game and succeed, I would, like, subscribe, check out my videos, because I have a ton of good information on just how to build your city, population, road upgrades, tips, tricks, everything. If there's a topic that I have not done, and I'm sure there's a lot of topics I haven't done yet, leave it in the comments below, and I promise I will either answer your questions or put out a full video on details so that you guys can be better players. Now, when you first join a club, or make a club, is what I should say, you're going to want to decide what it is that you want your club to be. Do you want it to be a war club? Do you want it to be a contest of mayors club? Do you want it to be just a trading club? Okay? Do you want it to be an open club? Do you want people to be able to come and go? Do you want people to have to apply to join? Do you want people to have open depots or closed depots? Now, the way my club works is it's an open club. People can just come and go. Now, ideally, we've lost a lot of VPs recently because of medical issues, and honestly, a lot of people just don't stick around for a very long time. I've been playing the game 4 years. I've seen a lot of good players come and go. They play usually about 6 to 8 months, and then you become friends with these people. And, a lot of them, they friend me on Facebook, and we talk quite a bit, but then they lose interest in the game, and you feel bad booting them, but they only come on maybe once a month. So they're taking up space, and it's not helpful to the club. So make sure that your players are staying active, and make sure that they are doing whatever duty it is that they're supposed to do. So if you have someone set for vice president, they should fulfill those requirements. And if they're not, then they need to be demoted down to either senior or member. Now, the difference between senior and member, the only difference is they can start war. That's it. Okay? They have a different thing next to their name saying senior, and they can start war, and they can accept the invites if you have it set to a private club. Now, you need to keep that in mind when you have players that you're promoting, okay? They need to be aware that if you're not approving when to start war, because war locks your club down for 3 days, they could potentially screw up your whole week. We've had many members come in and accidentally hit the big green go button. I don't know how they managed, but they did. And they send our club into war for 3 days. We go on lockdown. It screws up our contest of mayors because people can't come and go and donate points. It hurts us on the group chest. So just make sure that your VPs are aware of what the rules are, and you need to basically keep your club. You need to keep your club active. All right, hang on. I got a phone call here. Okay, I'm back. Now, I can't exactly remember where I left off, but basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to decide what it is you want from your group. And once you've decided that, make sure that, you've set the people. If they're VPs, they have to uphold that type of standard. They need to be able to enforce the rules, remove inactive members, and for our club, I have pretty easy rules, okay? Basically, the way that our club works, and we are accepting new members, so if you guys are interested, please go ahead and either shoot me a comment and just kind of say, hey, I got this level city, or I want to join you, or I want to be a VP, or I want to be a member, whatever it is that you guys want. Just go ahead and let me know. Now, or you can just join in. Our club code is RQMKNG. I do have another video explaining in detail our group rules, but I'm just going to brief it real quick. Now, I just expect people to say the amount of items they need, not post rares unless the person that you're trading with is at your depot, and not global rares because you could be helping your teammates. There's no reason for you to global something, you know what I mean, if you could be helping us. And just be respectful. Don't start war. We are not a war club. We do war strictly for contest of mayors. So if somebody if they're doing like an epic challenge, we will shut down our depots and basically say that anything that I'm posting is for so-and-so's epic. Please, nobody touch it. That is the only exception in our club where we allow people to close off their depots. Sometimes you'll notice people will join in your group and they'll have their city name, and next to their city name, they've put open or closed. That means their depot is on or off limits. We don't allow this. It's ridiculous. It's not backup storage. It creates a lot of drama, and people don't know like what's for sale, what's not for sale. It just makes it more difficult. So we don't do it unless it's for an epic, in which everybody kind of respects it. And let's say we have somebody that's doing an epic and they're like, I need 5 bread rolls, and then someone else comes in 10 minutes later after the chat's been moving and says, I need a bread roll. Now, no, because so-and-so asked first and they need it more than you do. So be respectful of that. Now, that's what I'm talking about when you make your club, okay? You want to make sure that people are aware of the rules and that they're following the rules. I've actually joined groups where they've said that you're not allowed to even ask for a rare trade until you've given the vice presidents or president 50 rares. Now, don't join a club like that, okay? That's ridiculous. And don't make a club like that. That is ridiculous. If you guys want good members and teammates, you need to make sure that their needs fit your needs, okay? That way you guys are all in tune together. Now, a lot of you play East Coast. I've noticed that most of the people that join my group are East Coast, so there's a 3-hour time gap. You're going to want to keep that in mind when assigning vice presidents. That way you have somebody on all the time, or a majority of the time. You don't want everybody on at a certain time. We've had people join from other countries, and she was the only one ever on at that time, so she was complaining that the club was dead, but no one is on at 3 a.m. our time, you know? So try to join one that's kind of in your time zone, or where you're able to fluctuate the time that you're on. And if someone is joining your club, they're being obnoxious, they're stealing, they're buying things that aren't intended for them, boot them. Don't put up with that, okay? Don't do rare trades where you put the items up first. Always be trusting, be a trusting person. Don't, earn your reputation. I've never stolen rares from anybody, and I always make them post them first, because until they've earned my trust. Once they've earned my trust, then that's fine. But make sure that that person has earned your trust, okay? If the person is, we've had members where they join your group, they cause a lot of drama, they change their city name, and they come back in and they do the same thing. There are ways that you can kind of identify the city, and it's basically, if you play on a phone or a tablet, you can take a screenshot of their city, their layout. Take a screenshot when you click on their name here. Take a screenshot of all this information, their level, their population, their contests, ranking. Now, yes, if they wanted to get really into it, they could go and change, they could change their population. It'll fluctuate a little bit, or they'll change the layout of their city even. But essentially, if it all is right around that range and you have a pretty good idea it's that person, it's a pretty good indicator that is them. So just keep that in mind. You can, look at their club war ranking. Look at, maybe there's an identifying mark in their city that, like, I don't know, they have like a pond like right in the center or something that just totally gives it away. We've had members come in and write "fuck you" with roads because he was mad that he was being removed for being inactive. He was mad we were removing him while he was asleep, but there's no reason for you to be there when you're sleeping, okay? There's only, and you'll know this if you become a president, that you need to cycle through people, because the way to keep your group on the top of this list here, you will notice that if you haven't had anybody come and go in a while, maybe 10, 12 hours, it is because you haven't had any chat activity. The moment that you boot somebody or you talk in your chat, the game will put your group higher up in the list. So you'll notice right after booting somebody that all of a sudden people are joining, okay? Now, you want to make sure that you do some kind of like a roll call or whatever, like, hey, if you're on, go ahead and say here. If you're not on, you're going to be removed. This is our club code, because they'll see the last chat, the last message in the chat. They will see that if they were in the club when you sent it. After you boot them anything you say in the chat, they cannot see. So make sure that you say the club code, and then they'll be able to find their way back. Now, if they're a member they come and go all the time. Some people jump between clubs. They want to work clubs, so they'll come to your club and then they'll go somewhere else to participate in the contest of mayors. But if you find somebody that is vice president, or that you want to make vice president, make sure that they are fulfilling their requirements. Do not, and I've had this happen many times, do not let people have the vice president ranking, but be a member, okay? Vice presidents are supposed to uphold a level of, a different standard level than just a regular member. A regular member can just come and go as they please. They don't have to enforce any group rules. They don't have to remove anybody. They don't have to really help people as much as a VP would be expected to. So just make sure that if you are vice president or you have vice presidents, that you're not making all of the work go to the president, okay? The president needs help. It is very difficult to run a group all on your own. People expect your group to be active. They expect when they need something, it to be there. Like if they need help, they expect people to be on to help. It is your job as a president to make sure that you have an active group. And it is a very difficult thing to do, especially when you have people that don't listen, they don't follow rules. You have vice presidents that they aren't enforcing the rules. Like, let's say that I'm on and I have like 3 VPs on, and we're all talking and we're all trading, and we get a bunch of members join. They're all new, and I will be the only one that says, hey, welcome to the group, these are the rules, and kind of explaining everything to them. The VPs don't do shit. And it's ridiculous. It's like, seriously? No. Just because your president is on, help them. There's nothing wrong with you saying, this is the group rules or whatever. Now, if you don't want to be a vice president and you don't want to have to enforce rules or whatever, then you're going to be expected to log out. And, obviously, people like to just kind of camp, you know what I mean? And you don't want to remove people that you like, but at the same time, if they're not on and they're not playing, it's nothing personal. It's just we need the space. So if you are making a club, make sure that your vice presidents are helping you. Do not let them, think about what is the difference between them and the members. Are they doing anything more than the members are? Because if not, then there's no point in them having the vice president benefits of not having to log out, of being able to remove people, having that ranking, okay? Don't give somebody that until they can prove to you that they're going to help you. Now, that guy that wanted to make that group about the production and producing items, you want to make sure that the group that you're in is fulfilling your needs as much as you are theirs. Don't take more than you're giving and don't give more than you're taking, okay? When you have somebody in your group and they're constantly asking for stuff, but then they're never, ever posting anything for anybody, don't let that happen, okay? If you have somebody in your group that doesn't have any manners, they don't say thank you, I don't put up with that. Now, a trade can go very, very simply. When you get onto your club, onto your game, and someone comes in and says, hey, anyone got nails? That's not helpful, okay? And then you say, yes, I do. Can I have them? How many? A lot, or a ton, or as many as you can spare. Not helpful. I cannot tell you, one of my pet peeves is not saying the amount of items that you need, okay? It makes it so much simpler. And with this chat, there is no private messaging system. So it can get pretty scrambled in the chat as to who needs what. And it just makes it so much simpler if you're like, hey guys, I really need 5 nails. If anybody can help me out, if there's anything you guys need, let me know. I have my depot has some stuff in it. Just be friendly. And then I can say, yeah, I have 3 nails that are up in my depot for you. Just say 3 nails up. And then now everybody in the chat knows that if he asked for 5 and he got 3, he needs 2. And that way you're not asking for something, not getting the amount that you need, but having to repeatedly ask for the same thing because no one knows how many you needed. A lot of us have very high storage capacity. So when you say as many as you can spare, I mean, that could be upwards of 200, 300, 400 items. I've had, 300 nails at one point. So don't say that. Say what you need. And it will make your chat so much simpler. So really make sure that the people in your group are following the rules. When we have abbreviations in our club, now, this right here, let me know when you're here. That is what we say. It's just a lot easier. Let me check. That, if they're asking for something, maybe you're kind of in the middle of something, and you want to see if you have it, that's what we'll say. On my way, we'll do OMW. The reason that I always try to have everybody say, thank you very much or whatever, is because it lets us know that you've received your item. And it's just polite. So when I post something for someone and they go to, maybe saying it's not a rare item, I'll post it. I'll make sure it's not advertised. And then I'll maybe go shopping on Global, or I'll, be busy or whatever. Or maybe we have multiple people asking for something in the chat. I'll make sure that they got it by either having to go and look at my depot, or they can just say thank you, and that lets me know they received it. So it's like I said, it's just polite. Now, we do, it might seem like it's, very strict rules, but it's really not. It's really basic stuff. Just say the amount. And if you are going to make a club, make sure that you know the rules, you know what you want from your teammates. And if they're not fulfilling their needs, do not put up with it. Just get rid of them. Because it's been my experience that when I have been overly nice and patient, and I will tell the people every day the same thing. Please do this, please do that. And they just don't, okay? And don't make it any harder for yourself or your other members. Now, if you are going to be a war club, I recommend that you find players that are of your ranking, and that you make it very clear in your description that you are a war club. If you're a contest and mayor's club, same thing. Make sure that, you don't have that war box checked. Make sure that it is in your description, and make sure that you inform people when they're joining your group. I would recommend that you have, let's say you're an open group like us and you have people coming and going. I would recommend that you have probably 6 to 10 VPs. Now, it sounds like a lot, but out of the 25 people, you want about half of your people to be there all the time and the other half to be coming and going. Ideally, it would be nice just to have 25 good active members, and I could just shut the group, and then I wouldn't have to worry about people coming in and stealing, and we wouldn't have to remove people. But it's really hard to find that many people. So that is honestly our long-term goal, is that if we can get enough good active players, we'll just shut our group, make it private, and then we don't have to worry about anybody stealing. We can keep our depots, pretty well stocked, because a lot of the reason why people don't keep their depots stocked is because other members join in and they just wipe you out. And that's another reason why that guy's idea probably wouldn't be very beneficial, is because somebody could just join in and just wipe out everybody's stuff. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment below if there's anything you guys want me to do a video on. And until next time.